What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Disney podcast. That's right. We are back and better than ever. We're never better than we were before, but this time I hope we'll be better than we were before.
Well, there's one reason. Because we have
Rob's back. God,
that's going to be my thing. I was thinking about it.
Thank God that Rob is back. If you listen to our last show, we struggled mightily. We would go, and what do you think, Rob? Oh, he's not here.
Yeah, Rob who?
And look, he's been gone away. He's been away one show and he's drinking water.
Yeah, I know.
Me too. Mine is sparkling water, but it's still water.
I mean, I'm drinking diet lemonade from Chick-fil-A, so I got nothing to talk about.
No, I was telling the guys.
So we're not doing news and brews this week, but we still covered our drinks, so we nailed it.
I was telling the guys before the show. The show was great last week. I messaged them and I said I just didn't have much to contribute to the subject, but I loved where you guys went with it. So I was glad.
I don't even remember what it was.
It's been so long since we did it. Like I don't even remember what we talked about.
Frontierland.
Yes, remember? Frontierland needs some help.
Frontierland.
That ended up being fun. That was super fun.
Yeah, that was good. I dug it.
There's no Band-Aid for Frontierland. It's just a hodgepodge now.
That is true.
Like what? Like I got a new joke. Hey guys, what's the difference now between Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios?
What's that?
Hollywood Studios still has lots of dead ends. Oh, meaning that the Hollywood Studios lands don't really work anymore, and now Magic Kingdom is headed in the same way. When you have to explain your jokes, it's just not that funny.
I was going to say there's more than one way to get out of Magic Kingdom.
Well, no, but you don't run into a lot of dead ends. Just one at Big Thunder Mountain. Oh, and I guess no, I was going to say, and I saved myself. I was going to say, oh wait, no, because over there by Goofy and whatever that water thing is, but there's a side path and the train station because the train reopened after 47 years.
That's true.
Really no.
Yeah, I felt when I went to Disneyland there was a ton of dead ends just because I feel like it's the Magic Kingdom, but it's not. So it's just
I get so confused. I'm like, what? What is like? Why is New Orleans over here? I'm so confused.
Exactly.
And it's so small. It's so easy to walk around there. I love it. Okay, that's our show.
Okay, that's it.
Good night, everyone.
We just call this the summer stop in.
That's right. Hope you guys are good. Check us out on our socials and roll the music.
It's like
great show, guys.
Our shorts version.
That's right.
It may have been 3 minutes, maybe less than 3 minutes. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Based on our thumbnail, our title, however you came across us, welcome to the Another Disney Podcast Experience. I guess now it's experience. We have to add that to the title.
It's an experience.
We have reached the peak of summer-ish, and so we're 6 months out, so we can start talking about 2024. We'll probably the first show that covers Disney that is already excited about 2024, but there are 5 pretty cool things, really 4, but 5 pretty cool things that are coming next year that I thought would be, because if you really think about it, most people start planning their vacation this far out or even further. So, but normal people haven't planned like 4 years out. So I know some people do, but like most people are like, oh, let's go to Disney next summer. Right. And so they're thinking about it. So next year's going to be a good year to go. And we've got 4.5-ish, 4.25. We just wanted to come up with 5, and one of them is really lame, but we're going to go for it anyway. So
we'll put together like a hodgepodge of 4s.
Like it.
Yes, I will list what they are, and I will we'll all then spat about it. What does that mean? I don't really know what that means. So
I feel that people. By the way, I feel that people just wait to the last minute to do everything. So, but it's still good to look.
Yeah, but man, with Disney, that's so much harder now.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, with Genie Plus and dining reservations.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can definitely still have an amazing time at Disney planning last minute, like just showing up to the park and being like, let's see if we can be our guest today. Like you could still totally do it. But like if it's your one and only time coming to Disney and you want to make sure you hit your bucket list items. Yeah. I mean, you got to start planning sometimes 6 months, a year ahead in advance to make it happen.
Yeah.
Very true.
I wish you could just wing it. I wish you could just be like, hey, kids, just hop in the car and drive 12 hours to Disney. Or whatever it is for us. I don't know. 11. All right. 5 exciting updates. 4 for 2024. Okay. We'll start with the low hanging fruit, which I don't think is a great one, but it made the list anyway. And that is extended theme park hours continue for on-site guests. This is so keyword was continue. And then what makes this story not exciting is it's 30 minutes and it's usually extra morning hours unless you stay at a deluxe resort or a deluxe villa, and they'll get extended evening hours, which I don't even know. I didn't even look this part up. Like, is that more than 30 minutes? I feel like it's can't be.
It has
Or
to be an hour,
maybe
at least.
I don't. I think it is. I think it's an hour in the evenings and it's 30 minutes in the morning.
Yes,
But I could be wrong. But I did.
Oh wow!
I did.
On select nights, certain parks are open 2 hours after park
Wow.
close, exclusively for like that's like it used to be. That used to be like legit magic hours. So there we go.
Oh, that's fancy.
I'm
I
glad
guess
I
we
looked
should
it
have
up.
done some research for this. I mean,
Well, it took 4 seconds. Thankfully,
But,
there's this
I would-
thing that Al Gore created called the internet. So it was
the internet,
big savior.
the internet. And I thought this story was funny because I was looking at it, and the little blurb about these extended hours is like, "Hey, one of the top 5 things happening in 2024. Hours will continue. It's not new, but it's happening." Like that was the blurb.
Well, the problem is we had to have 5. 5 just seemed to work better. Oh, look at that
Ooh.
view. I hit the wrong
Ooh,
button.
that's
Look how fun that is.
Look at
Wait,
that.
wait,
That-
Here's a story of a lovely
Hey, this is a great
lady.
plug for if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, you have no clue what we're talking about.
It's like we're in the same room. Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, do you
We look
guys
like the
have
Brady
thoughts
Bunch.
on that? Like, it's cool that it continues. Like, we're not. I'm still a vacation guy at Disney, so I don't get up early unless it's like the 50th anniversary. Other than that, I'm like we roll into the parks luckily by 10:30 to 11, so I will always miss out on this. So I need to go to the deluxe resorts and drink my water with a pinky up.
I like it. You know what? If I really haven't, thought about staying on property, but I'll tell you what, that would make me want to stay on property or do participate in those programs.
Yeah, it would definitely make me like that's a legit perk if you're a night out, if you're at a deluxe resort or a deluxe villa.
Yeah, and that brings us kind of back to the times of, I guess they called them extra magic hours back in the day.
Yeah,
Those were awesome. That was a major perk of staying on property, and
yeah,
it's a shame that now it has to be just deluxe. Obviously,
yeah.
we're moving towards a society where the more you pay for stuff, the more perks you get. And Disney used to be inclusive for everyone. And we've talked about this, like,
Right.
Are they pricing out the middle class? I mean, even if you go stay at All Star Sports now for a week, I mean, it's going to cost you for a family of 4, like $4,000. So to me, that's not super affordable. And then you don't get any extra perk of extra park hours on top of that. So
Yeah.
it's just a bummer you have to stay at deluxe. Now, the good news is, like, we live here, so we always are on the lookout for deals and things like that. We went and stayed at Wilderness Lodge for McKenna's birthday, and we could have taken advantage of the extra extra hours for deluxe resort people, but that's just because we found a deal. So I feel like it's
Right.
easier if you can go last minute.
And I feel like there was a key word in there when I read it: select nights. So this is not like a every single night. So there's
Yeah.
very well, if you take like a 4-day vacation, you could land on then those 4 days it doesn't like exist on
Yeah.
one of those nights that you're going. So
And it's for
there's
all
that
4
challenge
parks,
where
right?
I mean it was like that before, but I mean if you just happen to land on a weird or you're not going to said park that it makes it available on that day,
Right.
like that kind of, so it all the stars kind of have to align. But it was like that before. It was just better because it was like any hotel property, and sometimes it would be morning and sometimes it would be evening. But we were a big fan of evening just because we were more night owls than we are, and it's cooler in
Exactly.
Florida when the sun goes down.
Sometimes this week,
Yeah,
not so
true.
much.
Yeah, not so much. Okay, let's go with I'm just gonna go since we had a really like a softball. I'm gonna hit this one hard. Okay.
Hit it.
Starting on January 9th, 2024. So right at the beginning. I mean, kicking off the new year strong. You will not be required to make a reservation for date-based tickets. That's huge, because how many times on our show have we talked about, yeah, this ain't going anywhere anytime soon, like it, and so it's still around, but that's a huge thing, because I like that gives you the flexibility. You get there, you look at the weather for the week that you're there, and you're like, don't want to go to Magic Kingdom on the day they're expecting 2.5 inches of rain. I would rather go this day.
Didn't they announce
Thoughts?
that a long time ago, by the way? That they were gonna
Oh
do
yeah,
that, or-
gosh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, this is obviously huge. I always thought it was super cumbersome that, like, if I said I'm going to Disney World January 15th through the 20th, and then I had to go buy a ticket, then I had to go make a reservation, then I had to go do Genie Plus, then I had, like, it was too much to-do list. So
Yeah. Yep.
it seemed to me, if you bought a ticket for X park, obviously I'm going to that park, so I don't need to make a reservation. So that's huge. Unfortunately, the rest of us, it appears, still have to make reservations so they know what kind of shenanigans are going to happen elsewhere. But I can see this as eventually the reservation system going away. We've talked about it a lot. We thought that it would be around forever because staffing is, it's making staffing possible and things like that. But it seems to me that they're going to phase this out. Maybe middle of next year, maybe end of next year. But I think the reservation system is about done as we know.
I would definitely call this a test run. Certainly they're going to do this and then look, it's got to run for a while so they can have real metrics to measure it and see where it goes from there. Rob, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm real happy not to make the reservation, and that definitely was the reason. Like, with the weather and stuff like that, and it's funny. I just went on vacation like 2 weeks ago, and we literally looked at the weather, like the 10-day forecast. It looked really good. So we actually decided to go down to Wildwood, New Jersey. So that's where I've been going since I found out from my mother, since 6 months old. So
Dang,
6 months. Yeah, not years, 6 months old. So, but yeah, we did it based on weather. So.
Wow. Yeah.
But I like being more, you know what, maybe you have to plan it out X amount of time, but there's certain things, I think it's good if you want to go back to a park, like if you want to go back to the Magic Kingdom again or something like that, and you just don't have to make that reservation. It'd be great. Maybe the initial day you do, the other day you don't. So,
I mean, we all just went, what we came down and saw the Palms, and the whole family got to come, and it was over our spring break, and we all got a house
Easter.
together. Easter. And it wasn't like we didn't only went to Disney 2 days, but like we kept watching the weather, and like to have been able to have that, like if something happens, right, to be able to have the opportunity to swap, like is so much better. And so like the fine print on this is just when purchasing tickets, you'll just have to select a start date and then you're good to go. And those date-based tickets are the standard ticket options that Disney offers. So you buy let's say a 5-day thing. Let's say you buy a 5-day park hopper starting January 9th. You don't have to say, okay, January 9th, I'm going to Magic Kingdom. January 10th, we're going. You can just, you're good. And then you can go to whatever park that you want to go to. And if you see the weather and you want to swap, like let's go to Animal Kingdom, which is the hottest park on the planet, on a day that there's going to be maybe some rain showers in January. I would rather go there than like that be your soaking wet Magic Kingdom day. So I like that flexibility. It still feels like you got to do all this planning, but like if you need to flop. And so really, okay, well that's like the one bonus of Genie Plus, right? Because you can't make anything the day of. So that is one bonus that, like, before back in the day, you had to pick. You could pick your what? You could pick, if you were staying on property, you could get fast passes 60 days out. If you're staying off property, 30 days out. So you were still kind of locked in. So that is like the one bonus is that now Disney Plus, if you're Disney Plus, Genie Plus, you pick them the day of. If you decide the night before to change, you're good.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
that's
and
why
they'll still
I
have the
think it's a
metrics
huge
of how many
deal.
people are going to be. I'm sorry, Dave. They'll still have the metrics of how many people are going to be in the parks. You know what I mean? So say I have this 5-day window to use these passes. They'll stay, hey, X amount of people will be in the parks at that point. So they'll still have some bearing of who's going to be in there. So, but yeah, that's all true. When you think about it, like you analyze it with the GD Plus and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. So,
all right, let's stay on the same vein. This covers a little bit less people, but in 24, Disney is launching what they're calling good to go days for pass holders. So it'll allow pass holders and cast members, that's important, to visit theme parks without a theme park reservation. Thank you, Jesus. These days will roll out on an ongoing basis. In addition to that, the other update that will allow pass holders to visit the parks after 2 p.m. without a theme park reservation, except Magic Kingdom on Saturdays and Sundays, so basically weekend. Good to go days are going to vary by park. There's going to still be blackout dates apply if that's the type of pass that you have. And then they haven't released any more info on that yet, but that's kind of where it's at. But this has got to be a huge bonus for, like, you guys have the everything pass. So, well, you don't have water parks anymore, right?
No, because you had to add that on. Yeah.
You can wake up that morning in those good to go days and be like, let's take McKenna to Magic Kingdom and ride some rides. And you don't even have to think about it or plan it or nothing. Like, that's the huge bonus for people that can drive, that it's drivable, right? So I would say, I don't know, your mileage may vary, but I would say within like a 2-hour drive window, I would be like, that could really be like, dude, it's going to be like 75 degrees today. Let's go to Magic Kingdom. And there's no like, oh, let me see if there's available. I don't know. Like, there's none of that nonsense. So again, good to go days, they're going to be not all the time. That's why they're called special days. So Brandon, as a flow rider, what do you think?
I love this. This harkens back to the old school days, like when there wasn't park reservations and you could, I could be sitting at work and it's 3:00 and I'm like, man, the weather's nice. Food and wine festival's going on. It'd be awesome just to go home, pick up the wife, pick up the baby, head to Epcot. I don't have to worry about, if I drive to Epcot, is it going to be closed? Can I get in? It's just, it brings a little more of that spontaneity. Now you still have to obviously look at the calendar and see when these good to go days are. And I hope they wouldn't just sporadically put them on. Like I would hope that they say like the 3rd week of January is good to go week for pass holders. So then you don't have to think about it. You're just like, hey, if I want to go, I'm going to go. But I like it. I dig it. Again, going back to the first point that we made, I think this is the reservation system seeing its way out. It's just slowly bleeding it away instead of ripping it away from people. But I dig it. I think it'll be much better. And it seems like there's more and more of these days coming. Right now, they give you those bonus reservations. So, you go into the app, you look at the calendar, it's got the star on it, and that's just a bonus reservation you can pick. So it's the same thing. It's just, less thought to it. Yeah. So I dig it. I can't wait.
I haven't looked at the calendar yet to see. I guess that hasn't rolled out yet because it's irrelevant. But it gives me, like, I'm coming to visit you in February, like I always do. This could entice me. Well, maybe I'll come 2 days early if those are good to go days, and I can just wander into the park and go while you're at work or something. Like, I'll be able to have that option where there's not all this, I got a plan and is this available and because I know February is still busy because you've got cheer and Pee Wee football, like, so it all just depends on where that lands. So even as somebody who's out of state, if I'm popping into Orlando for whatever, like, this now gives me the opportunity, like, ooh, is this available? Can I just wander in? Like, I know, Rob, you're not a pass holder, but
I was going to ask Rob. That because I know he's in Orlando a lot. So if they add more and more of these good to go days, is that something that may entice you to become a pass holder? Because if you're down here visiting Universal, doing an event down here, and you're like, hey, I got 2 extra days in Orlando with nothing to do.
That's a good question.
I got a pass and they're good to go. Would that entice you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, I looked at, possibly doing that option last year when I was down there a lot. And it just, with those restrictions and the reservations, I just kind of, all the stuff, I just kind of passed on it, so I did have a couple extra passes that were these awesome passes I just have that were they didn't expire, which is great. I still have one more, I think, too, which is awesome.
Oh, nice.
I think it expires 2099, which is cool.
Wow.
So it was
Only
a
Fuzz would
cool
have
pass.
these special.
I know I have
awesome
this special
passes
pass, which is all. I only got one left, but I'm gonna carry it. So
that never expire
But
ever.
I want to
can
ask you
get
guys a
whatever-
question. You think? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's very cool, and it's a park hopper too, which is very cool too.
Oh,
You
dang.
can get a park hopper.
Nice.
That's like
I only have one
the
left.
Those things
the
cost like
golden bar.
$8,000 these days.
Yeah. I know.
Did you get this in the Charlie the Chocolate Factory movie? Because this sounds like the golden ticket.
Yes. Oh, but my question is to you guys: like, are you going to be so set in your ways the way things have changed? Like, you're not even going to remember these things, or you think you'll eventually get back to accustomed to it? And like, oh yeah, I forgot it's changed. You know, so I wonder if that's a
Gosh, I
factor,
don't
too.
know. I guess it's harder for Brandon.
Yeah,
We'll see.
it definitely changes so much. But like, I mean, when we first moved down here, we were at Disney all the time, but
Yeah.
it's become less and less. It's just become more and more of a hassle to get there
Yeah.
and get into a park, and it's just in the summertime the weather's just god awful hot, and you don't even want to be outside. So, I mean, we just renewed our passes. Our passes renewed 4 days ago, and just like fools, we were like, "Hey, here's the card. Put it on there." But finally, we took advantage of being able to switch to a Florida resident and be able to pay for it
Oh,
monthly,
great. Oh,
which was
cool.
nice.
Very
So
nice.
didn't have to throw out
Yeah.
all that coin at one time. But
At once.
yeah,
That's
I
so
mean,
good.
yeah, we got them, but we definitely don't utilize them as much as we used to. So
How many days do you think you went this last year, your fiscal year?
probably went 20 or 20, 30 days, maybe. Like I definitely went enough to make it worth having the pass.
What do they say? You got to go 12 days? Is that basically
Yeah, 12, 13 days, something like that. I think
yeah.
they just renewed it like $1,358 or something like that.
Let me see.
So if you
I'll
think
do the
about it,
math.
10 or 12 days, something like that should get you there, depending on when you go.
So we'll split it. If you guys went 25 times, it costs you $52 a visit. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Good, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Do the math.
Do the math. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would love to get there more, and the more and more restrictions they lift may make it easier and easier
Yeah.
to do that.
Well, and now you've got like, I mean, I know that you've been enough with families with children to like begin to skew your perspective, but now you have your own little set of eyes and you'll get to experience it through her.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of changes everything. I mean, I remember like we went so many times with y'all, like as we all like pre-kids, and then when I took Micaiah, it was totally different, and like I loved it way more just watching her experience it and seeing her. And then when we took Isaiah, he's so like how everything works. His perspective was totally different. He was like, look at these railings and how does this work and what's the deal with these like where Micaiah was
That's
all
so
like
cool.
magic. He's all like, how does like this is wild, look at all these things and everything's moving, and it's just so neat to experience through like kids' eyes when we were those annoying Disney adults that always went to didn't childless, we weren't millennials, but yeah. Okay, yeah, I think this is great. Like these changes are, I'm glad they're so slowly implementing them, and I think this is just all right. I'm going to say something that is
Uh-oh.
probably going to like cause lightning to strike, but I think this is one of the potentially. I'm trying to carefully word my phrase. I think this is one of the positive things that have come out of social media for companies. You hear all these kind of things when enough people like bark and companies start making positive changes. I think this has been like, you know, I get that Disney had to get out of and start making profit again, which I think they're in that camp again, at least when it comes to parks. I know not company wide, but the park segment is, you know, firing off all cylinders and carrying other parts of the Disney company. I think this was a good result of people saying like, it's not affordable, it's not fun, you like all these things are hard. You change the whole Disney Plus thing with, I mean, Disney Genie Plus. We'll talk about that next. But I think this is one of the good things where like we all came with pitchforks and machetes and stormed the castle, and I think it worked. I could be completely wrong. This could have been their evil plan all along to let's get as much as we can and then dial it back. But I think this is a direct reflect of like Iger, like being forced, unfortunately, to step back in and just looking at this and being like, well, like these changes that were made during that, although understandable, like people aren't happy. And at the end, happiness, the stock price is still in the tank. Like, let's be honest. But
how did it do when
and
they said he was going to
answering-
resign? By the way, I was just curious.
do what?
Did the stock price do better when they said he was going to resign for a couple more years?
It may have had a dip, but it's still on a downward trend. Like it popped back up, like post COVID. Obviously, it tanked during COVID, and then like it is, but it's about back to where it was after it tanked after COVID. It's been on a pretty bad decline, but that also, I mean, we're in a R. I'm going to say the R word. Like we're clearly in a recession nationwide. Goods and services are crazy expensive. There's a lot of reasons, and I think that affects everybody in every company. Nobody's immune to that.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a weird rabbit hole. I just wanted to talk about social media did something good for once potentially, but man, turned into the stock price and a recession. Good God, that's our show.
And got Andy Rooney here. I felt like I was watching an episode of 60 Minutes.
I think everybody fell
it's a
asleep. They're like,
factor.
oh my gosh, are these guys still talking?
It is a factor. We are in the R word, and it's hopefully it'll get better by next year. But this is all contributions. They need to do better to get better. So they really do.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, this one is a heavy hitter for a certain crowd. We were in this crowd years ago when it was way different. Mostly because it was free from time to time, but people like it makes or breaks their vacation. I'm telling you, and that is Disney.
The barges in the middle of Epcot.
No,
Totally right.
they have been imploded and sunk to the bottom. The Disney dining plan is set to return in 2024. So, they're going to be coming back as an option for those staying at Disney Resort hotels. That's always been true. Or who purchase a Disney vacation packages with stays beginning January 9th, which you can book those now. Obviously, you could book them back as early as the spring. Guests will be able to choose from two options, so way less options, and they're not as good as they used to be. One is the Disney Quick Service Dining Plan or the Disney Dining Plan. There used to be at least three, right? At least three,
Yes.
or was there more?
There was three. It was like Disney Deluxe.
Yes, these plans offer convenience for prepaying for meals and snacks. That's why I wanted to read that full sentence. These are plans that offer the convenience of prepaying for your meals. What made the Disney dining plan so popular is from time to time they were free. We
Quote
have paid
unquote
for it.
free.
Yeah, we have paid for it, but it was way cooler when it was free. I'll let you guys unpack. What do you think about the plans coming back?
I always liked the Disney dining plan. We've did it at least 4 or 5 times. I like it. We never got the deluxe, the biggest one. We always got like the middle one. So I think there was like a scrubbier one that they don't even think they offer anymore. So it's more quick service and more snack based, right, Brandon? I think that's what the lower one was. Yeah.
Yep.
So it was good. If Dave gets that calculator out again, I don't know. Do you have the pricing on this stuff? That what the meal plans were?
No, they haven't. I don't know if they've released it yet, but I got my calculator watch right here.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think
Do
that
the
they
math.
announced it. I think if you go to make a reservation, it'll kind of tell you what it is when you add all the pricing together.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've done it both ways. We've been on plenty of vacations, and we used to plan our vacations around the free dining plan, aka the markup everything else. So the dining plan seems like you got it for free. But we've graduated in our tastes, right? So I don't know. Back in the day, all we did was quick service because like you didn't have to sit down, you didn't have to plan anything.
Yeah.
You got your meal, you got a snack, which Dave loved the carrot cake. I love the chocolate cake. And then you got a drink, and then that was 2 meals a day. So you got 2 of those a day. Now I think it's pretty similar. It says that the quick service is 2 quick service meals per night of stay, 1 snack, and then 1 drink mug. So I guess meals is really like a meal and a drink, is what that connounce. That's what it consists of. So that hasn't changed much. But yeah, I mean, I love the dining plan. It's nice not to have to think about, right? Like you don't have to worry about carrying money and paying. Like, oh my God, I'm paying. It makes your vacation seem a little more magical when you're not taking out your credit card or your debit card at every restaurant. You just scan your magic band and it comes out of the magical bank of meals that you have.
That's right.
You have that hidden tip at some restaurants.
Yes. When you sit down, remember, people, when you sit down, if you're going to get the Disney dining plan, not the quick service that includes one sit down meal, you're going to have to tip outside of that meal. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. And isn't there like less snacks? I believe Dave said one time, don't you get like less and you have to pay more? Like you get less snacks.
Yeah, it's way different. Okay, so what I remember is what you just said, Brandon. You would have a snack, and what was great, because we would always stay at like a value resort, and the snack could be like a bowl of cereal or a bagel or a donut. I mean, so you could have like something breakfasty that was more substantial than like a Mickey bar. Like, so I would typically get like a bagel and then get like either cream cheese or peanut butter toasted in the little toaster in the thing, fill up my included drink mug, and you kind of got a breakfast out of it, right? And then there were 2 quick service. Now, is it 2 snacks and a quick service? Is that what it is now? Or is it still 2 quick service? 2
quick services, 1 snack. Is what the new one's going to be.
And the value one is, or whatever, that one's still pretty good. Like that's enough to eat. Because I will tell you this, one of the things that was different about the dining plan for me when we did the quick service one was if we go and eat, I never get a dessert, but a dessert was always included with the dining plan. And so I felt like I was getting my money's worth, because it was like, well, I wouldn't have bought that. Well, when we did the free ones, but I wouldn't have typically got a dessert. I would have just got the meal, because the dessert was like $6.79 extra. Like, I don't need to buy that. Like, I'll just, finish it up and then eat whatever the kids don't eat. But that one is a pretty good one. And we did the middle tier one way back in the day. That was like, you got 4 things. You got like 2 snacks, a quick service, and a sit down. Yeah, that was, we stayed at, and that one we got for free. We stayed at Caribbean Beach and got the free dining plan. And because we stayed like in a moderate resort, we got the middle dining plan at the time. That one doesn't exist anymore. And that was awesome, because it was like you got to experience everything, right? You got a couple of snacks throughout the day, you got a quick service meal at the park, and then you could go to like a fancy sit down restaurant. I loved that one.
Yeah. Well, here's your good news, because I was just looking at the Disney dining plan, the one that's coming back.
Okay.
And it actually is 1 quick service meal, 1 table service meal, a snack, and a refillable resort mug. So,
okay, so you just lose 1 snack.
That's not bad. So you just lose the snack.
I knew you lost something, yeah.
So you got that, but it always seemed like these things were so much food. Like you were talking about, you would go sit down, and every meal you got a chocolate cake or a carrot cake. And I remember being in the hotel with you guys sometimes, and we open our fridge and there's like 14 cakes, and we're like, we just cannot possibly eat 14 cakes. So we just bring them back to the room every night and throw them in the fridge. Yep. And then you had those people who didn't use all the snacks. So the very last day at Disney World, they're in the hotel like gift shop buying 15 bags of gummy worms.
Yeah, that was always us. That's what I was gonna say. We're like, oh my God, we have like 15 snacks left. Let's go get goofy candy and whatever.
So true.
Whatever.
Yep.
And like we have a suitcase just for those extra snacks. So it's too funny.
Yeah. And of course, my favorite thing to do with the snacks is break them up during Food and Wine Festival, because all the little food samples at all the festivals. Before, it used to just be Food and Wine Festival. Now every festival is the same, but you could break up your full quick service meals or sit down meals for X amount of snacks. And then you could use your snacks, to pick up those little meals. So we would always hit Food and Wine Festival at the end, and that's where we would use all of our snacks instead of the gummy worms.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, do they have the thing too where like Cinderella's table or whatever, it's the Cinderella's cabinet where you have to use 2 sit downs for those more?
Yes. I think there's like stars in this dining plan thing that said some locations may require more than 1 meal.
Because we did the Cinderella Castle, we had to use our 2 meals, whatever. That was fun. So,
Dining plan. We seem super passionate about dining plan.
I know.
If you
Well,
watch us
because-
on if you watch us on YouTube, you could tell by our svelte bikini figures that we don't like to eat at all.
Spell.
That's right.
I'll be honest though, like I don't know if I'd ever go back though. I don't know if I'd do a meal plan because I'd probably go in there,
Yeah, it'd be hard now.
book my trip, then I say, I wonder what the meal plan thing is, and I just have a feeling that sticker price shock is just
Yeah,
not going to be doable.
because
anymore
I
for
will
us.
tell you this. In my experience, everything's subject to change. My wife has like forced me to pay attention to this. And almost every time, if we go to a, not on the dining plan, if we go to a quick service restaurant, I will get a kid's meal. And that's simply because, like, let's say you get chicken tenders. Okay. You get 2 with the kids meal. You might get 4 with the adult meal. Okay. But the fries are the same. Like there's no less fries. And you typically get like a dessert with it. You typically get like
6,000.
a cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you get a smaller cup, but whatever. Like we always typically try to strategically plan where we're going to get our quick service at a place that has the refillable drinks. Like remember, we're always looking for show topics. We should talk about like, here's all the places you can go and eat and get free refills without having to go to the counter. We need to do that's the show title coming up next time. But like, yeah,
I want to hear all your
because
hacks.
The amount of
That's what I wanna
food
hear.
it's like 20% less food. It's not like you get like you eat that and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm famished. I got 4 French fries and half a chicken nugget. Like it's still a ton of food. Plus you get like a little dessert, which could be like a Go-Gurt or and I usually just get a cookie. Like that's what I did because Daddy wants a cookie. Does that sound weird? I think it sounds weird. That's our
it
show,
sounds
folks.
dirty. Daddy wants a cookie.
And we have been
Good
fined
show.
by the FAA.
Daddy.
Did I say the FAA? Isn't that the Federal Aviation Administration?
It was that bad. The FAA.
I was like,
stepped
where
in.
are we flying
Excuse me,
to?
Dave. The
Dear
FAA is on the
God.
phone. What?
Wow.
Daddy
Yeah, I
wants
know.
a cookie.
He said, "Daddy
That's
wants
my
a cookie."
bonus
I
tip.
hear you. So,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
That's
I was on the
awful.
phone, sorry.
Rob's getting live complaint calls about Daddy wants a cookie.
Everybody's like, what did he say? It's better than
so
a
wrong.
Go-Gurt. I don't know. It's just weird. All right. Have we beat that horse to death?
I don't know, Dave. Would you get the meal plan again? I was just curious if you.
No.
or it depends on
I'd
the
get it.
sticker
No,
price.
if it would have to be free.
Will they ever do free
It would have to be
meal
a
plans
savings.
again, or that's gone? You think?
No.
Probably not.
Never.
Never.
Probably not.
Let's see.
Never.
We'll see.
I'm just while
One
you
could
guys
dream.
are talking, I'm just clicking because I'm gonna try to book a trip and see how much it adds.
Yeah, let's see what the price difference is. That's good. I
That's
like
good.
that. I'm curious.
And I just do things.
Okay.
Let's talk about the next topic. I'll come back to
I
it.
just do things.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know how to cover to the next topic. Okay. Number 5, which I think this is the best one. So we saved it for last. We started off with 30-minute extra magic hours continuing to this.
Drum roll.
This I think is a big deal. Changes are coming to Genie Plus. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's all, folks.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me read about this. So we'll start off with the God's honest truth. No details were shared, just that changes are coming. So they're looking at simplifying the Genie Plus experience. Like I hope that means they're going in like rolling their sleeves up and going in with shovels, because I think it's that crazy. The goal with this update is to give guests the opportunity to spend less time planning in the park. Thank you. And exploring ways that guests may be able to make Genie Plus and individual lightning lane selections before the day of their park visit. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. That I think is huge, even though I just praised like the whole thing about you can go any like your whole week, you can pick whatever park you want to go to. If you can make your your Genie Plus selections before you're right back where you were. I think that's huge, because my biggest complaint on my vacation was the 2 mornings we were up at what 6:50. Brandon and I would walk out like zombies to the couch, sit down, and try to figure out how to do this. Of course, he was a pro. It was my first time, and then we just would go back to bed. Like that is so stupid.
That's so vacation like, isn't it? So vacation like.
I don't know if they've announced anything since this. I feel like it would be pretty big news. We've heard about it if they've.
Yeah, I don't think this
6
is
months out.
Yeah, I don't think this is coming until next year, but it's good to know that it's coming. Something I read this week that kind of paired along with that, and it had to go with dining reservations. Seems like a very small change, but it's amazing. Now they're going to change when you're searching for a dining reservation. Say you want to go to California Grill. You choose California Grill. You choose the date. It's going to show you all the available reservations without having to scroll through and hit like 8:15, 9, 9:30.
Oh, that's so annoying.
It's annoying. And now they're going to change it so that you can just hit California Grill and it'll show you all the reservations. So that's cool.
Oh, thank you, Tom.
I just thought of that when you talked about Genie Plus, but I love this. It's getting back to the old Fast Pass days.
Yeah.
Plan your first 3 rides, and that also eliminates the problem that we saw when we did it, right, Dave? One side of the park to the other side of the park, back to the other side of the park.
It was a lot of tennis match for sure.
Yeah. At least if you could plan 2 or 3 pre, you could say, all right, we're starting at Pirates, then we're going to Tiana's, then we're going to Big Thunder, and you've hit Frontierland pretty hard, and then you can decide where to go. So Brandon, I love that it's
so 2024 saying Tiana.
I know. You'd like how I slipped that in there? You like how I slipped that in there?
Did I dream this, or did I see that? Like if a dining reservation's not, I'm sorry to be off topic again with Brandon, but like if a dining reservation wasn't available, they would let you know when it is. Did I see that somewhere, or did I dream that? I think I might have dreamed that. So
you might have dreamed that, Rob. You should tell them to do that.
No, because there's websites that do it. I don't know if we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, like mouse dining and
exactly, mouse dining. Like but I read that they were going to incorporate like a mouse dining feature into something.
I love it.
Reservation, but
it's nice.
I mean, that's another
suggestions,
way to make money.
Suggestions at DisneyParks.com. I don't think that's the real website. I mean, I don't think that's a real email, but there you go.
Suggestions at another.disneypodcast.com. We will forward them to the proper authorities.
Yeah, but I want to share my story. Like, I wasn't going to do Genie Plus, and like I decided, like literally, we went over. We did because I had the DAS pass, which was nice for my son. We needed it, and it still wasn't enough. So I figured we went to Magic Kingdom. Wow. Let's do both. So my decision was like we went to. What's it called? Little Mermaid, and it was like an 45-minute wait. We didn't have that, so I'm like, you know what? Let's just bite the bullet. Let's get it. And for me, the interface was, and I'm a Disney geek. I'm an interface guy. I'm pretty good at this stuff. I just didn't prepare, and man, I was so confused when I first did it the first time. Now I'm definitely a little better because I've done it a few times. But like even like I didn't know where the buttons were. I didn't know how to do stuff. Of course. The times and stuff, and going from ping-ponging or I don't know what term you guys use, but going from back and back to the park drove my family nuts. So I'll welcome any changes.
Yeah, I mean, and if you have littles, that's exhausting. It's already an exhausting day, and then to bounce back and forth because you got to be all over the place because you're trying to maximize your money spent. So you just kind of got to take what you can get, and so hopefully, well, I'll say this: I don't think that is going to change. Unfortunately, I think they're just gonna make it a little bit more user friendly and maybe make you can do it 24 hours before. Like
that was my question. What you thought they were interesting to do?
I don't think it's going to be like 30 or 60 days like Fast Pass was. Maybe 48 hours.
If they could let you do multiple, that is a win. If they don't change anything, but you can now do 3 at a time, that changes everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Like maybe even they say like you could do 3 at a time within this 3-hour window or something. Maybe like that. Maybe that makes more sense. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah,
it does. But my concern is like, what 3-hour window? If everybody gets the 9 to 12 window, like nothing's going to be available. Like you don't want to be like,
right.
I think it's. You can pick your first 3 based on availability. And now one may be at 9:15, one may be at 12, and one may be at 4. Like you may be trapped into that. Which
Yeah, but I
that
don't want
will
you to
bring
be
about a
able
whole
not be able
new
to do any
frustration.
changes. Yeah, I don't want you to not be able to do any changes till after 4, though. That's my kind of point I was going to bring up.
Yeah,
So.
agreed. Yeah,
I think it would be nice, like if you got that 9, 11, and 4, you still have the opportunity to select another lightning lane between 11 and 4.
Right.
That 4 is
Maybe
locked
that's
in.
what the way they'll do it. They'll give you 3, and then you can do.
You still have to wait a certain amount of time. You get your 9, 11, and 4. You got to wait. You have to at least use your first lightning lane before you select another one or something like that.
And
So,
that would be epic.
it would be
and
interesting.
you
It'll
could
be interesting to see.
That's the way
100%.
that the DAS pass worked. They let us pick 3, and then we pick 3, and then we just kind of could add after the 3, and then you could do. And then the Genie Plus was kind of the ultimate thing, but we still waited in line. So it still was rough on my son. So
You should come down right now. It is not crowded because it's
Just right here.
207 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh, so while I'm thinking about it, I did find the answer semi-price. So
Nice.
I just did a stay at Disney's Beach Club from February 10th to 17th of 2024. I did a 5-day ticket, just no park hopper. I think it was like $69.50, something like that. I added the quick service dining plan. It went to $77.05. So $800 for 5 days divided by 2 is about $80 a day per person.
And what plan was that? Sorry,
That's just the quick service.
the quick service one. $80.
And I think it went to like $82.58 for the real one. So that's another $500. So that one's like $110 a person per day, something like that.
Yeah. So the point is, you're not saving money. You may, in fact, I'm trying to think. What's the most expensive quick service meal you can get? $15, $16. So that's if you get 2 quick service, and let's just say that's $64 per person per day, and then a snack is what, $7? That's like you're paying more.
And the
Right?
only saving grace is if you use that to get an alcoholic beverage if you are above 21, because beers are $10-$12 depending on what kind of beer you get at Disney World. So if you get an alcoholic beverage for each of your meals, you may make your money back.
Yeah. So if you're thinking it's like, oh, I'll do this, like even if it was like a 10% savings, it's not. I can't.
It's not.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pull up menus, but I can't think of a lot of quick service places that have more than even if it's $20 per person, right? So 2 meals, that's $40 for your sit downs, right? And then what did you say it was per person per day? About $80. Yeah. There's not a $40 snack. So that's my problem with them. Like they never there ought to be some type of like even 5% cost savings involved. Like I don't know. It's weird to me.
It's weird to
So it doesn't sound like doesn't sound like it's. So here's my
Well,
question.
what's the benefit?
Do you guys
of doing
think
it,
it's
then?
worth it? Yeah. Do you guys think it's worth it?
It's always nice just to, I don't know, like as much as I said I probably wouldn't do it in the future, like it was always nice in the past just to say, hey, here's my band or here's my whatever, and not kind of worry about it. That literally is the only benefit, not to pull out your wallet for doing stuff, even though like it's not all the restaurants, it's just with the tip, it's some they'll include automatically. Then obviously you put cash down for tip.
Yeah, I think it's like everything else at Disney World. Yeah. Like they advertise, obviously, if you stay on property, you get free transportation. Well, obviously, the amount that everyone pays for their Disney vacation goes into being able to pay bus drivers and things like that. So you're paying for Disney transportation. You just don't have to pay it when you get on. For some people, the simplicity of prepaying for their meals and not having to think about it is 100% worth $10, $15, $20 more per day. And so it really comes down to, are you really trying to make your trip meals as cheap as possible, or do you want it to be as easy as possible? And and I deal with this every day in my day job. Like, we may not be the cheapest, but what are you looking for? Like, what's important to you? So if the importance to you is just Let's make it easy. I have 3 kids. I don't want to be digging in a purse. I don't want to be looking for money when they're screaming about they wanting their chicken nuggets. A dining plan may be great for you.
They could just scan your wristband and charge it right to your card too, though.
Yep.
Right.
I wish 100% that is one thing I wish Disney would let you do, especially if you live here. I wish they would let you load a credit card onto your Magic Band so you could just
you
like
can't do that. I'll be honest. I
Nope.
thought you could.
nope.
Only if you're staying on property, right?
Only if you're
Because they'll
staying on
charge you to
property.
your room.
Oh.
Yeah.
So to make it feel like special to me, I just use my Apple Watch. Like it's use Apple Pay. It makes me feel like I have, I'm charging it to my room. But yeah, they won't unless you're staying on property, you cannot scan it for charges.
Well,
You can't
here's
load
a
gift
question.
cards. Nothing.
I was gonna. Well, if you buy a Disney gift card, you can't use it towards food or
Nope.
nothing.
You can. You just can't load it onto your Magic Band,
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
Stupid.
which would be amazing. That would be perfect because there's a lot of times if you go to Food and Wine Festival, they like offer, you can get $250 for 200. If you buy this gift card to go around Food and Wine Festival,
Right.
like how amazing would that be to be able to load onto your Magic Band? Then you don't have to worry about where's my gift card and wear this stupid lanyard with your gift card around your neck, so you remember where it is. So I wish they would incorporate a little bit of that into their technology.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Wow.
All right.
Just rabbit holes.
This is
Rabbit
good.
holes today. Just gone
This
down
is good.
rabbit holes. Loved it.
5 exciting, really 4 updates for 2024. I guess I should have went with 4 because it's 2024. Could have been 4 exciting updates for 2024. Coming
And
to
one
Walt
that no
Disney
one cares
World.
about.
Yeah. One with
That's
an
good.
asterisk.
One with an asterisk.
Thank you,
Is there
gentlemen.
anything? Is
We
there
do
anything
have
you
some
wish?
guests. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just curious if there's anything you wish they would change in 2024 that we didn't announce though. Just
Oh, that's a
bonus,
whole different
maybe.
show.
That'll be the follow-up
True.
show to this show.
Very nice. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing that needs to go away is park hopping after 2 p.m. Hands down.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Fight me on that.
I thought that didn't they mention they are getting rid of that at some point? They just didn't say
No.
when. No, I thought
They-
they were getting
I don't
rid
think they've even given us hope about that one.
of it. Oh, okay.
Nope.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Rob's like, you didn't make the decision. You don't have to apologize.
That's right. It's not your fault.
What were you saying, Dave, about a guest or something? You were saying something?
No, I was saying where Rob has been fruitfully working on some guests, and so we will be
Fruitfully.
rolling some of those out into the fall. We'll get some guests coming up. One of them I'm excited about. We're just trying to get the timing right
Yeah.
before his contribution slips further and further away into the calendar year, because he had I'll give you a sneak tip. He had a lot to do with the 50th, which is be cool to kind of chat about.
Heck yeah.
Rob with his connections. So I'm excited.
It's great. I mean, Rob just texted us and he's like, I feel like Rob just has the magic touch because he'll be like, I'm going to ask this person. And then 15 minutes later, he's like, he's coming on Friday.
Yeah, Nathan
Okay.
Fire Sheets was like that. This guy's like that.
Like
That's good.
fire sheets. Okay.
Nathan's been doing by the way, we'll follow up on Nathan. He's been going to other parks besides
Yeah.
Disney. And
I follow
it's
him
kinda
on
cool.
Twitter.
Follow him
just
on,
to
yeah,
see
follow him
how
on
it is.
Twitter. He's fun.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
good.
like, this dude has either the best job in the world or doesn't work ever.
exactly.
Yeah. Something tells me he makes pretty good bank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. He flew around the world to go to Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I saw that they're pushing that package. It's like, I don't know. I forget what it is, some astronomical amount. They
Maybe
actually
we could get him to sponsor another Disney podcast and we could go and broadcast live from the
Done.
$150,000 trip.
Done.
Let's
something
do it.
like that. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I like it.
Good show, guys.
Good show.
Excited.
Well, gents, that was
good
great. Rob, welcome
That was
back.
fun.
Thank you for coming back.
Rob, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, it was my son's birthday. I apologize. I couldn't make it last week.
That's right. We told him. Lucky 13.
I mean,
Yes.
that was acceptable once, Rob. Once.
yeah. He cannot have any more birthdays.
no birthdays.
Poor children.
Very nice.
All right.
All right, kids. We've drug
Till
this
next
out
time.
longer than probably we should have.
Sound of freedom is in the air. Until next time. Bicycle.
Peace.
That's going to be my outro.